So the last part of the overview, fourth and final part, is going to sort of summarize everything we've talked about. I'm also going to show you some other resources like my website and YouTube channel and so on, where you can get access to all the stuff we've been talking about. So, no surprise, as with most things in life, you get out of this course what you put into it. And that means if you really want to learn this stuff, and I think it's fascinating, there's lots of resources to avail yourself of, but you have to be responsible for doing that. So be prepared to work hard. There's a lot of material to digest in this course, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. But there's a lot of material, maybe more, maybe less than many courses, but we really work hard at making it exciting and fun and accessible, and hopefully will be useful, not just now, but in the future, because if you go out and work in industry, some of this stuff may be useful later, and so knowing where to go to find the information can be helpful down the road. Do not miss deadlines. I cannot overemphasize this enough. If you get behind, you're in big, big, big trouble. So if you're looking for a nice, leisurely, underwater basket weaving style course, that is not this course. So please make sure that you follow directions for submitting the programming assignments. There will be a Google form that I'll post here shortly, and you need to fill out that form so I know where to find your code, and I know you've also agreed that you've done the various checklist things, like put the results file and run the unit tests and gotten help if you need help and so on. So super duper important. Do not miss deadlines and follow directions. Participate in discussions in class and on Piazza. So if you take a look, we have stuff from class. This is the Piazza link. You should have an email. If you don't have the email from me or from Piazza with the instructions on how to join the Piazza discussion forum, let me know at the end of class so we can make sure that that's rectified. Super important. I would get in the habit of checking this several times a day because we keep updating a lot of stuff. And there are descriptions here about what to expect, and I have some things pinned that you should be aware of, like where the website is and so on. So get in the habit of checking Piazza frequently and leverage the available resources. We have lots and lots of stuff available in this class. We've got office hours. My office hours are Monday and Wednesday after class, upstairs, right in front of the Wondery on the first floor of the Engineering Science Building. We have the online discussion forums, Piazza. There's slides with tons of links if you want to follow along and learn things in more detail. All the lectures are recorded, so you can go back and watch them. And we have textbooks if you want them. Most of the stuff is available either here or online, here being in the lecture material, or online, but there's also stuff if you want to learn more systematically, if that's the style of learning you prefer. My website, which is this website, contains lots and lots of useful information. You'll see that we use Brightspace sparingly. We use Brightspace primarily for the quizzes and keeping track of the grades, but most of the other stuff is on my website, and there's a variety of reasons for that, having to do with the fact that periodically Vanderbilt has had this habit of changing the learning management platform, so getting too tightly coupled to any one platform is annoying because they keep changing it, but my website is always my website. And you can see here there's lots of useful links that explain how things work, and there's also links to other stuff, and we're going to look at this in just a second. So all the videos are going to go up on my YouTube playlist, and they'll also be linked in the website itself with the video and the PDF version of the slides week by week. You'll also see we have something else that's pretty cool. Professor Jules White, who some of you may have taken for other courses, has recorded a bunch of videos about microservices with Spring. And so every week I'm going to have probably 6 or so videos from his website, his playlist, that'll be supplemental reading for the week if you want to learn further about Spring-related stuff. And I strongly recommend you watch those things. He's an engaging lecturer, and he's going to go into a lot more detail about some of the nitty-gritty parts of Spring that are useful to do the assignments. We, of course, will use our class time to go over other things. We'll walk through lots of examples and stuff like that, and of course, focus on things that are relevant to the assignments in our course. But that's a great resource that I strongly recommend you take a look at. So let's switch over right now, and I will show you the web content on those sites. So this is my website. There's my smiling face. And if we kind of expand the website, this has a bunch of things. Very shortly, I'm going to put up the office hours. There'll be several TAs in the class, and I'll put their office hours up there. I think they're going to do them probably through Zoom. As you can see here, I have a playlist, which right now only has one video on it, but it'll soon have the videos from today and then other stuff as we go through the course. And right now, the video that's up on the website, on the YouTube playlist, is the walkthrough of assignment 1A for this class. So that's a good place to start. You can also, if you need some refresher on functional programming in Java, you probably want to take a look at this link. This is some stuff I've recorded over time that gives you a nice background of Java functional programming. Here is the link to Jules White's Microservices with Spring webpage. Like I said, I'll kind of release those week by week. And every week, I'll put our videos here along with the link to the video and the link to the slides. And then I'll also have the link to the supplemental videos from that week. So here are the supplemental videos by Professor White for this week. And they're great. I recommend strongly you watch them. They'll give you a much nicer, more in-depth view of Spring. And there was really no need for me to repeat what he did because he's done a better job probably than I could do. So that's what we're going to leverage. Here is the course website, the Piazza site. And that's where you should go to keep track of discussions. Right now, basically, it just gives you the welcome posting, which talks about things like where's my website and how you can get access to the frequently asked questions link, how you can install the software, how to update, how to add me as a maintainer to your GitLab repo. And then I also posted some information about the first programming assignment, and it has another link to the walkthrough video, when it's due, which is a week from Wednesday, and so on and so forth. Again, not a particularly hard assignment, but you should start early because undoubtedly you'll have to learn some new things in order to be able to make the tests pass. Please resist the urge to email me directly because it'll likely get lost in my inbox unless it's super, super confidential. But even then, I would strongly recommend that you use the private posting message mechanisms on Piazza if you want to send something just to me. A couple things you could send just to me, like confidential stuff, or like, my program isn't working and here's the code. Don't post that. Don't post your code to the public postings on Piazza, but if you have something, a specific question, you can post it to me privately. Please resist the urge also to post something to Piazza that says, my program doesn't work. Can someone tell me why? That is an impossibly hard question because I don't know. The best time is when people post a private post saying, my program doesn't work, can you help me? I don't know who you are. I don't know where your repo is. I don't know what the problem is. So please resist the urge to give very, very vague things. Say, if you could send a private posting that says, my program's crashing, here's my GitLab repository ID, could you please take a look? That's perfectly fine. But don't just say, things aren't working, I don't know why, and nobody knows who you are. That's not helpful. And if you want to meet outside of office hours, we can do that too. It's best if we can do it during office hours, but I know that not everybody will be available right after class. Another thing just to kind of point out, even though there's a bit of a downturn in the economy, life is still pretty darn good for folks who have knowledge of the things we're covering in the class. So being a Spring developer, knowing how to use these microservice approaches, knowing how to do parallel and concurrent programming with Java, all translates to great opportunities down the road. And then finally, I'm obliged to point out that if something goes wrong, the evacuation route to be thought carefully if there's burning fire on the stairs is basically to go up the circular stairs and leave the building. So hopefully we won't have to worry about that, but that's what the evacuation plan is. And that's the end of part 4.